Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining my podcast and listening to me talk about this new wave of rap music that's been formulating quite recently for some time. Due to apps like TikTok and other social medias bringing the underground more popularity and building fan bases, massive fan bases. One of the biggest examples is rapper and artist Yeet, who not only in a short amount of time built a huge fan base, he ended up becoming slightly mainstream. And out of all of his contemporaries, he blew up the most out of everyone. Now with that out the way, if you're hearing this, you either A, have no clue what I'm talking about, or you want to know more, or B, you have a general idea on who these artists are, and you already kind of know them. And if you do, that's good for you. But if you don't, then I'll gladly explain. Now, for this episode today, we're going to be talking about two things: collectives and a certain sound that's gained popularity throughout the years called plug and be. But first, we're on collectives. And with the underground, there's a lot of collectives. But the most popular collective that isn't really a thing anymore was the known group Slay World, with rappers like Summers, Isaiah TG, Goonie, Autumn, and Wyland all discovered each other via Twitter group chats, and they all grouped up together due to one man, Pac Runner Kane. I know his name sounds kind of funny. Rest in peace. He was the co-founder, and you could say he was the one responsible for all of the chats with the rappers collected on. And it was originally supposed to be like a skating thing or something. Not too for sure, but just know that he met with the rappers. He connected some of them online, and that's how they kind of formed. And with that, throughout time, Pac Runner Kane, he ended up disappearing again and doing his own thing, which only led to the rappers left. So what did they do? They decided to make music. And so the sound most of the group made was called Plug and Be, a continuation of the already known sound, plug, which takes Beethoven-like drums, just less intense, and more calm, over dreamlike chords with lush sounding melodies. Now with plug beats, they have a more turned, chill type of vibe. Just to explain it for like the younger audience, it has a more turned, chill type of vibe to it. It tends to be a lot more relaxing than the average hype track beat. And it's something you could like imagine yourself hearing on a sunny day or something. Pioneers of that are Mexico Joe, Stupid Cool, and others, all on the collective Beats Plug, who all worked on the sound from dated back to 2013, but the sound not fully being formed until 2015. Now, 2018 is where the new sound of Plug started to be formed. Artists like Summers and Autumn worked with Plug producers who had a different twist on the sound. The producers focused mainly on the main components of a Plug song. And what did they do? They added R&B influence. So they would add more R&B like chord structures and even a bit of jazz structures. But that's more of new Plug and Be. At the start, Plug and Be was more dreamlike and faster paced, but the twist was it became a lot more melodic sounding. The sound of Plug and Be, well, here's an example of how the old Plug and Be used to sound. Now, newer Plug and Be has the same type of feel, but more new and polished due to the producers mastering their sound more and stuff. So here's, I guess, what you could say new Plug and Be sounds like. Producers who helped shape the sound of Plug and Be are Zan Gang, 3 Lil Boy, and 30 Nick. Also, outside of Slay World, many other known rappers use Plug and Be, like Lil Tecca, Sofego, and Wolfpack Smoothie, just to name a few. But the sound couldn't be a thing without the rappers. So what did the rappers do? Well, the rappers brought in more heavy vocal layering with lots of auto-tune, reverb, and ghost-like ad-libs. And they also tended to record themselves a lot more, which led to, you could argue, a more unprofessional mix, but that's why the fans liked it. It felt more raw and at home to them. Besides being in a studio and having everything fully polished, they liked the more raw undertone to it all. The raps also tended to be more melody and harmony driven and a little bit more melodic and sing-songy, while still being rap and rapping about the same topics of rap, but also rapping about other things like heartbreak, just stuff like that. Isaiah TG is crowned as one of the ones who made the Ghost Reverb ad-lib and the Heavy Abundance with his more spaced out, slow type of sound. And with being such a tight collective, the group ended up choosing to do their own thing, which made them realize that they wanted their own individuality more than anything. Now, for how Plug and B is doing now in the year 2023, I will admit, Plug and B has kind of lost its strong momentum it had due to other songs in the underground becoming more popular. I mean, one of the last good years, 2021, for Plug and B in my opinion, it went amazing, but 2022, Plug and B didn't really do that good. And it could just be because people either got tired of it, but my reason is that other sounds in the underground became more popular because 2022 was more of a dark sound for the underground in general. They used a lot more menacing type of beats. And I guess the pretty luscious sounding Plug and B was just kind of over. Kind of already had its run in its time. Now, with that, with the new year already here, is it safe to say that Plug and B has had its run though? And that it's done? Yes and no. Plug and B is always going to be in the underground and be important, just not as a parent. But it will probably mold into other micro-genres, and those will eventually be their own thing. Now, I don't know everything, of course, and I can't see through the future, so maybe Plug and B will have another run this year. Who knows? Only time will tell. But with that out the way, everyone, that is episode 1. And that's for this specific little niche in this underground. Next episode, we'll be moving on to another group. But with this group, the group is backed by recording artist Playboy Cardi and his record label Opium. Next Wednesday. And if you made it this far and hear me practically info dump on you, thank you for listening. It really does mean a lot. But with that, episode 1 done.